I believe we are live now. Yep, looks good. Alright, what's up everybody? We're back. Gonna do some more work on this guy. So yeah, let's see. Let's just get right to it. The idea for this little fella is he's a little, he's a sandworm. Sandworm baby. He'll grow into be a, big, dangerous boss worm in the desert. But as of right now, he's just this, kind of funny little grubling. Let's see, let me see if I can find my reference board. Here it is. Alright, so yeah, we got these sketches that Harrison did, and we're going for something kind of like a cross between a skag from Borderlands and a sandworm from Dune. The original Dune. Important distinction. Okay. So I'm actually thinking that we may need to make a few little minor tweaks to the overall shape here. Specifically the tail. It's a little too thin. Yeah, something more like that. Let's check our reference. Hey, what's up? We're back and we are making some steady progress on this guy. Making some last minute adjustments to some shapes while we still can. Hey, what's up, Sim Cook? Welcome, welcome. Glad you could join us. Making some last minute proportion changes to our boy here. Yeah, then we're gonna finish up this retopology. And yeah, maybe start unwrapping and baking while we're at it. I think it might go pretty quick since it's a pretty simple shape. It is going today. How you guys? It's a little rainy, which is nice. I like that. Been having a pretty good day so far. So yeah, no complaints. Oh man, you gotta, we got someone in the chat who got 3 hours of sleep last night. That's no good. You know, that's a good point. So, a lot of game devs talk about like, crunch and, kind of burning the candle at both ends, which is true. So, sometimes you gotta do that, right? I mean, we've got other jobs and other responsibilities, and making games is really time consuming, so sometimes you have to do that, but man, if it can at all be avoided, there's nothing wrong with getting decent sleep and taking care of yourself. Getting a little bit of exercise. You don't want to just spend all day in front of the computer every day, you'll burn out quick doing that. You gotta kind of pace yourself. That's right, the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. We want everyone to make lots of cool games, so take care of yourselves, guys. Uh-oh. Okay, that's good. Yeah, some people are having some lag, but I think it's not stream side. I think it's time to add some groups here. Let's see, so my usual setup, something like a reference layer, and then a backup layer. And this is kind of how I do it. I have 2 groups. One for ref and one for backup. And I add those groups, to their respective layers. And then all I have to do is just drag meshes into the group, and then I can control its visibility from the layer. So that's pretty nice. See all this stuff? Oh, I need this actually. I already made a backup layer. My bad. I'm gonna keep these because they'll look better than the sculpted versions. So all of this, we can go ahead and just move into there and toggle that. There we go. We can delete this empty group. And you know what? I'll add one for the rig too. It's pretty unusual for me to have rigging stuff this early, but you know, I think that it makes sense for what we're doing. And that still works. Nice. No, this guy's too high. Try to keep that kind of stuff consistent between ZBrush and Maya, but sometimes it just doesn't quite work out. Alright, so let's see, this is our low poly, that's our skin. This is our new high poly ref. So what am I working on today? Today, we're picking up where we left off from the last stream, which is we were, just we kind of just sort of went from our high poly workflow, sort of kind of gradually slid into retopology and rigging, because in the case of this particular character, they're kind of dependent on each other. And that's because I wanted to be like 100% certain that the jaws would be able to open and look right. So I had to kind of skip some steps and do that step a little early. But that's fine, because now it's, it's that much closer to being done. Let me fix the shading on here. Ah, that looks better. So yeah, so this all in here is going to have our beautiful mouth details, which we sculpted up last stream. The plant. So the grubs stacked up on top of each other remind me of Audrey 2, the plant from the Little Shop of Horrors. I haven't seen it. Sorry, guys. Is it worth watching? Should I add it to my list? That's kind of the one way that I kind of avoid, I guess, like having to, work all night on this kind of stuff, is I kind of just don't, like, I kind of do this for fun. Like, I don't really watch much TV or anything like that. It's kind of like a special occasion when I have do like a movie night or something. Oh, I had no idea it was a musical. I'll probably skip it. Gotta pick and choose what you spend your time on, you know? Okay, so a good trick for this is you can count your edges on each side and make sure that they have the same number, and that way it'll be easier to combine them. So this is 36, and it's good to have them be even numbers. So I'm going to try to create a ring of 36 edges here. And then if I can just work out how to bridge those, then bridging here should be easy. So I'm just kind of randomly extruding out by eye. Now I'll count them. So we've got 28, so we need some more. There we go. Okay, so, oops, I must have counted something wrong, because now there's 44. There we go, 36. So now I can just focus on evening out the distances. Oops. I'd have had a doubled up vert there. Yeah, come on. Weird. Alright. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. Alright, so now I can focus on evening these all out. And then we just gotta figure out how to connect this part. Actually, maybe I'll do the toes first. Digging the background music, reminds me of the Mass Effect club music. Yeah, I could kind of see that. It's pretty good for focus. This will probably be some of the most thankless topology, but we gotta make sure the toes are right. No one will ever see it. But, you know, you just gotta do it right. Yeah, looks like he's got little flip-flops. Yeah, you know what? Why don't we just stop right here? He's just got flip-flops. I like it. Everything I do from here is just gonna ruin the flip-flops. Almost there with these toes. Now it's alien feet that I'm greeted by. That's right. You never know what you're gonna get on this stream. Yep, today's foot day. Everybody has feet. Even aliens. Hey, Dr. Override, what's up? So for those of you just joining, we got Wub and Dr. Override joining us on YouTube, and yeah, we're working on this guy. Let's see if I can unhide. So yeah, this is our. Let me pull up the reference board. We're making this guy. Sketch by Harrison. He'll be inspired by the Borderlands Skags and the Dune Sandworm. And we've been working on him for, this is day 3. So about 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Yeah, and so we got, let me show you in ZBrush, it's a little easier. Wow. So this is what he'll look like, normal, with his mouth closed, and then when he's attacking with his mouth open, he'll look like that. Which, Wub joined us while we were in the middle of sculpting this and was like, oh my goodness, what am I looking at? And then let's see, the other thing I've got kind of set up is I've got this front half skinned, and I've got some key poses. Oh no, did I delete my... Hang on. I might have accidentally deleted my deformers. That would be sad. Oh, or maybe... Maybe I shouldn't have parented these. Anyway, this opens, I promise. We unhide everything. Yeah, I lost it. Ah, well. You can see the bones are rotating there. So I just need to redo the skin. Yeah, he's gonna need he's got a nasty set of teeth. Yeah, he needs a toothbrush. So anyway, so we're now in the process of, doing our retopology, so we can get this guy UV'd and get our textures baked, and then we'll do the real rig, the rigging like for real, and then I'll probably hand it over to Harrison to start animating. How are we living today? Oh, we're living pretty well. It's a little rainy here, but there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, you're currently working on a comic? Well, that sounds cool. What's it about? All right. I'm gonna get back to focusing on these feet. Did I click that? So, oh, I know it. Oh, I wonder if that's... Okay. Still broken. I've got this script, I just confused myself. I've got this script that, like, locks me to be on one mesh so that I can't, like, accidentally select another. But you gotta remember to turn it off or you can't select anything else. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Alright, let's finish up this foot. All right. So we got the top of this foot at least kind of closed up. So now we just got to figure out how to go from here to here. We're going to have to reduce these polygon, like, we're going to have to kind of collapse those edges a little bit. So imagine Tron, but everyone is a variously colored cat and they will kill each other with neon guns and swords. Okay. That sounds cool. I can picture it already, really. Whenever you're done with it, you should share it. I think you're in... Yeah, share it. You're in our server. I'm sure everyone would love to see it. So getting a little too busy at the foot for your liking. I'm assuming you're referring to the number of polygons. I was talking about reducing the loops down. Yeah, it's not so much about busyness, so much as I want to maintain a consistent poly density, right? And so since this part of the foot doesn't have much detail and is just sort of straight, I don't want to have like really, really densely packed loops. I want to spread them out. And so that's what I was talking about. So I just kind of merged the loops down into these triangles to do that. And I'm fine with having triangles here because this is like a flat part of the foot that won't really bend. Hey, Autumn the Night, what's up? It is going good. Okay, what sorcery is this? Well, we're doing some character modeling and some retopology right now. So we started out with this guy. Rah, that's his mouth. And this is him with the mouth closed. And it's based on this concept. And so the idea is he's like a little baby sandworm. So we've been sculpting him in ZBrush, and now we are in Maya, and we're getting ready to get this guy ready for some UVs and textures. It's about the size of it. This is that, if you're familiar with the 80-20 rule, it's like, you know, things kind of work out in ratios of 80 to 20. So like, in this case, 80% of the effort is, you know, done in 20% of the work, right? Which is the, you know, the retopology. It's like, you know, it's like kind of like the last stretch, but it's just so time consuming. It's just a lot of checking it from every angle, making sure everything's right. solving these little, like, edge, you know, polygon puzzles. It's kind of a pain, to be honest. You know what, I think this is being weird because of... Oh, no, I don't even have symmetry turned on. So it's just Maya. That could be part of it. Alright, whatever. That'll do for now. I'll come back and fix it later, or maybe I won't. Internet is dying. Is it you sure it's your internet, or is it the stream? We've had a couple of other people having some technical difficulties. The Maya Multicut tool is a marvelous feat of software engineering because it works great just long enough to make like a little demo video or tutorial talking about how awesome it is. And then the minute you try to use it, like in an actual serious application, it just doesn't work at all the same way. It's really remarkable. It's kind of like a dishwasher that fails the day after the warranty expires. You know, any sucker can build something that lasts forever, but a real engineer builds something that lasts right up to the ideal point of failure. That's Maya. There we go. Now that I insulted it a little bit, it worked pretty well. Alright. That topology sucks. I'm not gonna... I won't mince words about it. But it'll do for now. We got a whole body to do here. Oh yeah, we gotta do the bottom of the feet too. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna switch to the arms though. Oh yeah, Gamescom is today. So yeah, I don't blame you. Got, you know, people gotta jump so they can check out the Gamescom stuff. I probably should too, but I really am kind of the worst at keeping up with stuff. So you've never used this software before, most of the modeling you do is in Blender. Yeah, I hear that a lot. You know, a lot of people don't like it. For good reason. I understand. It's, you know, got major problems. But it's classic, you know? It's like, I don't know, it's like an old classic car or something. You know, it's just so many cool games have been made with it. It's just, you know, it's the go-to. Well, that makes me feel better. So the Gamescom showcase was pretty disappointing, and I didn't miss much. It's good. I mean, it's not good that it was awful, just good that I didn't miss much. The way I see it, it's like if some game comes out that's like, you know, truly incredible, like I'll hear about it. You know, like I won't be able to miss something that's like, you know, a new Halo 3 or something. You know, we'll see it. It was 90% city management sims. True. You use Blender because it's free. Yeah. Yeah, I used Blender for a long time. And it is very impressive. It is very impressive for what it is, you know, for being free. But, you know, it's kind of like... It's kind of... My reasoning is sort of the same that led me to Unreal over Unity or Godot. And that is, you know, like I want to... The kind of games that I like and that I want to make, you know, have been made before. Like the kind of games that I like are like, you know, shooters with like multiplayer and co-op and, you know, like interesting environments and stuff like that. And there's a million games just like that have been made in Unreal. So why would I not just use Unreal? And then, you know, the 3D modeling software that most of those kind of games are made with, they're mostly made in Maya. So it's like, you know, just kind of use the tool that grew up building that kind of stuff, you know? And I really got my start with Softimage XSI, which is a super classic program, and it was awesome. Like, it was really good. By far better than Maya. But it was acquired by Autodesk and then discontinued like a year later, which was really, really a blow to the games industry. And now it's all but forgotten. What's going on here? Come on. Symmetry. The main draw to me for Maya is the rigging tools over Blender. Like, I think I could probably get pretty used to Blender, especially now. Well, there were some major annoyances with Blender back in the day that I think have been changed. But okay, one thing about Blender, maybe they've changed this. Tell me if you know. So, something you can do in Maya, and this might seem like it's not that important, but it makes a difference at like really key times. So like, let's say you've got two separate objects, right? And you want to modify them at the same time. You can do that. Can you do that in Blender? I know you couldn't like 10 years ago. Maybe you can now. But see, this is the kind of stuff that makes me choose Maya. Like I said, it's not like you do stuff like that, you know, all the time. I don't think I've done it on any of these streams, but when you need to do something like that, helps. Okay, so you can do it in Blender now? Alright, that's cool. What about, let's see, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, assigning a material to multiple things. So like, let's say, you know, I've got like, you know, 20 different meshes and I want to assign a material to them. Can I just, you know, open my material window and just, you know, select them all and then just drag it and assign them all at the same time? Because I know at one point you had to like basically do it one at a time. Wub says, I hate Blender with a passion. 610 hours on record. Wow, I have no idea how many hours I have on any of these things. I really don't want to know. That's some information better left unknown. Okay, maybe I need to check Blender out again. I do love open source software, and I think it's really cool. Yeah, that's what, yeah, I use the Steam version of Blender, so it tells you your hours. That's funny. Yeah, I hate seeing how many hours I have on a game. It's like, I don't want to know that. Looks like we're giving this guy a little sweater jacket. So it'll be nice and cozy. Oh yeah, the highlighting is cool. So yeah, Autumn says the one thing I like with this software is during the highlighting it does before you select something. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm sure Blender can do that too. It's probably a setting somewhere. And I know you can turn this off in Maya if it bugs you or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's see, what else is it about Maya? Oh, pivots. Pivots. Blender has, or at least, you know, like back in the day, it had this really weird system of pivots. And in Maya, it's really effortless to set it. So like, see, you've got an object and you rotate it. You see how it rotates around, you know, the origin, the pivot point? Well, if I want to move that, I can move it just like that. And now it rotates around that pivot. Whereas Blender, you could do it similarly, but it was like you'd have to set your 3D cursor and then like dig through like 10 menus and then set like origin to 3D cursor or something like that. It was just kind of rough, you know, whereas this is just really smooth for that. It's little things, like I said, like, and I mean, it's obvious you can make amazing things in Blender. I mean, all you have to do is go on ArtStation and look at people's stuff, you know? I mean, there's work on there that's, you know, far better than mine. You know, I'd be, you know, very proud to, you know, say I made some of that stuff and it's done in Blender. So it's like, obviously the tool is just a tool, right? But there's a lot of things, just a lot of little things about Maya that I find convenient. There's a survival horror game where both your legs and an arm get torn off your body and you have to survive using your only remaining hand. That sounds awful. And it's getting a sequel? Do you have two hands in the sequel? That was a bad joke. But that sounds pretty interesting. Okay, so Blender does have a better pivot tool now. That's good. But the one thing you hate is the camera. What's wrong with the camera? Oh, so the protagonist is the same, so no more hands for the sequel. Makes sense. But I mean, you gotta up it somehow, right? Sequel can't just be the same as the first. Maybe at some point I'll give the latest version of Blender a download and, you know, check it out and make a video about what I find. I mean, it would honestly be awesome if it could replace Maya, because yeah, I mean, like, I'm not crazy about Maya, it's just, you know, it works. And it's very, versatile. Blender definitely does have Maya beat on sculpting. I'll give you that. But, you know, that's what you use ZBrush for. So I feel like Maya plus ZBrush is a pretty good combo. If I didn't have ZBrush, I would not be able to stand Maya, because there's a lot of things that I just will not try to model in Maya. I'll just take it to ZBrush. Oh yeah, I've grown kind of fond of these little, like, custom menus, too. Oh yeah, and okay, the more I think about it, there's so many things. Scripting in Maya. Like, scripting is a huge deal. And I'm sure, like, yeah, I know you can do it in Blender, too, but you've got to know, like, at least a bit of Python. Whereas Maya expression language is, like, just human readable, and, you know, it's pretty intuitive. So it's really easy to make custom scripts. So that's a big winner. And then, yeah, like, just the ability to have all these little custom tools, like, in your shelves and in custom marking menus. I'm not the biggest fan of the marking menus, like, in general. Like, a lot of people use them for modeling. I am not into that, but they're perfect for little things like, I need a cylinder, or I need a torus, you know, like, it's all right here, rather than having to, like, go up and dig through these. So I do like that. The more I think about it, there are these little things in Maya that I would miss. I think we really just need some overhauls to the multi-cut and quad draw tools. They're like 80% there, they just need a little bit more. The camera, so the camera zoom in has a limit, and the way you move the camera in this software looks better than Blender's camera. Oh, okay, I'll see you later, Wub. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so the camera. That's interesting. So yeah, well, what I like about the Maya camera, so yeah, alright, let's talk about that real quick. It's got tons of settings. Where's my little... missing a little panel. That's weird. Well, anyway, I can just select it here. Oh, that's the other thing. Cameras in Maya, like, exist as objects, which I don't think is the case in Blender. So they're part of the DAG hierarchy, which is just logical and makes sense to me. But yeah, then you've got all these settings, so you can change your, you know, focal length and, you know, angle of view. It's a little different from field of view, I guess. And then there's clipping pane settings, so, like, it's possible to like get too close to something. So I have my clipping pane set up, you know, basically for the scale that I'm at. But if this number were larger, then like, yeah, see how things disappear when I get close. So you've gotta dial those in. Maybe there's a setting for that in Blender that you just need to find, and maybe that'll help you out a little. But yeah, and then controlling the pivot of the camera is pretty nice in Maya, because it more or less always pivots around your cursor point. And so like if you're zooming, like, so like if I'm zoomed out and I want to zoom in like over here, see, like it zooms in to where the pointer is. Or maybe it doesn't. Sorry, maybe I'm thinking of Houdini. But anyway, you can set the, you can like select a vert or something and then press F, and then your pivot will go around that, which is nice. That's right, and I think Blender was a little weird in that regard. ImSimCook, how large is Maya? I don't even know. Do you mean just in terms of install size? I honestly couldn't tell you. Not large enough that I've ever felt the need to uninstall it. Yeah, I'd say one of Maya's saving graces is just how scriptable it is. Oh, and little things like this, like I can control visibility of 2 meshes at once. I'm sure you can do all that and everything else too, but I don't know, just felt easy the way I just did it. It's grown on me. I used to really hate Maya, you know, back when I could use soft image. I'd go back if I could, but I think those days are past. Whoa. What just happened? Delete history. Freeze transforms. That's weird. I'm not sure what's going on there. These are always the worst, these, like, interior, like, finger joint areas. Ugh, hate doing retopo on this stuff. Alright, thanks for hanging out, Otten. See you later. Oh yeah, that was the other thing about Blender, is, and I know they've fixed it since, but I think it was in, like, 2015, but it was, they added, for the longest time, you couldn't have n-gons in Blender, you could only have quads and triangles. And I remember it was kind of like a big deal. They were like, oh, n-gon support. Which is just, like, absurd, I mean, n-gons, you need n-gons to be able to model anything. I mean, you wanna model them out eventually, but that's something Maya handles quite well. Like, right there, that's an n-gon. It does a pretty good job of, handling them. Yeah, so an n-gon, at least in terms of 3D modeling, is just anything more than 4 sides. But yeah, basically an unknown number of sides. Yeah, and the thing that's so complicated about them is, on 2D space, it's like, whatever, but in 3D space, it opens a lot of weird... It's like very open to interpretation how that surface would be formed. So, the way a 3D modeling application handles it is different from program to program. So yeah, exactly. So if you were making a slice of toast and want the rounded corners, that wouldn't have been supported originally in Blender because you couldn't have n-gons. You would just have to have modeled it out of, you know, quads and triangles. So like, here, I'll show you. You've got... So, okay. Come on. So you've got a quad, and yeah, your toast example. Like, we've got a, you know, we need the corners to be round. So the way I would do that is I would just like add some verts and then like add some anchor verts there and then start doing that, right? And then just start, you know, sculpting out the details. I mean, I'd actually just do this in ZBrush, right? But you know, we're just trying to make a point. So this shape, I can't make that in Blender. And so it's also, it's no big deal as long as it's flat. It's an n-gon, right? But once we start making it no longer flat, like what is that, right? And so do you see what Maya does? It basically makes guesses as to where this would be triangulated. And so I can triangulate it for real by just clicking triangulate. And so do you see what it does? Like now, it just puts an edge there, and so that starts to define surface changes. But in the old days, Blender would just not let you make a shape like this. It would just be like, you know, just say error or whatever. Welcome back. Welcome back, Harrison. What's up? Yeah, we're talking about n-gons. Auten was here for a bit. We were talking about Gamescom. He was saying that I haven't missed too much. Yeah, other than that, we're still just slogging through this retopology. We're almost there. We had a little Blender versus Maya debate. I'm thinking I'll probably fire up Blender one of these days just out of curiosity, see how much it's changed. Not the best topology here, but whatever. Let's see what we can get away with. Life of IT support. I had someone ask me for help clearing their cache, and when I asked them what browser they were using, they said, Windows. Well, did they just, maybe they meant Edge, right? I mean, maybe. Oh, even worse. They were using Internet Explorer 8. Well, that's the Windows of browsers. I don't know. It's not totally wrong. Man, can you imagine like getting a new computer and then just opening up Internet Explorer and then just going about your business without, you know, immediately installing something else? I can't imagine. It's like, it's bad enough when I see someone, you know, that doesn't have ad block. They're just like using Chrome like without ad block installed. It's like, whoa, how are you, why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? It's like just one click, just install adblock, and the internet becomes a different place. But man, but to just be like, just daily using Internet Explorer, that's unfathomable. Like that. If Firefox is a Macintosh, Internet Explorer is a speak and spell. Or maybe an Etch-a-Sketch. So true. So true. Imsim Cook, the claws are very satisfying to watch. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm always worried this stuff is just like... just mind-breakingly boring. Because it kind of is to me. But I'm glad it's interesting to watch. I'd love to watch this in time lapse. Like, that'll be fun. But we should definitely make some like edits where this is all time lapsed, because it's cool seeing this like just, you know, build itself really fast. But yeah, but doing it in real time is like, whoa, it's a little bit of a slog to me at least. I mean, it's satisfying when it's done, that's for sure. Alright. This boy's almost done. At least we aren't to the UV maps. Yeah, that is like watching paint dry. Well, okay, you might not have ever seen me use UV layout. UV layout is kind of a game changer. Well, you'll see what I mean pretty soon. This is a huge shortfall of the multi-cut tool. It really has a hard time inserting loops on faces like this. I just want an edge right down the middle. I have to use the connect tool. Yeah, that's the other weird thing. Maya's got like at least 6 different tools for adding edges. And they're all just a little different. They all work in different situations. It'd be nice if there was just one that worked all the time. But that's asking a lot. We're almost done with the toes. I'm glad he only has 2 toes. It's half as much retopo. I didn't intend that as a pun. Retopo. Not a pun. Don't react to that. Do not clip that. I'm warning you, chat. Do not clip that. Alright, what is going on here? Why can I not multi-cut that edge? Try something. Reset tool. Nope. Boy, that's being pretty annoying. Whatever, I'll come back to that. I'm not reading this chat. These puns are too bad. Yeah, don't worry, it's not done. Tail's a little boxy. Yeah, no kidding, it's a little boxy. It's easier to add loops later than to start with a ton. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to bring this down without, without just making there be tons and tons of verts at the end. This multi-cut tool is, like, absolutely not working. What in the world? All the usual suspects are off, deleted history, no symmetry, no live surface, reset tool settings. What am I missing? Why won't it cut? So there's one more thing I can think of, and that is to delete half of the model. But hold on, what's going on here? Oh, how did that happen? Must have been a merge with too much tolerance at some point. That sucks. Yeah, it's going to be tough to eat colonists with all that random geometry in the way. Hello, we're doing good. Welcome to the stream. We're doing some creature design. This is the creature. My buddy did this sketch, and we're going for kind of a Borderlands meets Dune sort of aesthetic. And we are currently trying to fix some very messed up geometry that happened somewhere along the way. Not on a daily basis. Well, almost. Harrison, who's working on the game with me, streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I stream on Mondays and Wednesdays. So between the two of us, 4 days a week. With the occasional double stream, where we'll both stream at the same time. What's going on here? There we go. Alright, mostly fixed. Still having these weird multi-cut issues where I can't seem to bridge these polygons. I'm not sure why. So I'll just do that instead. All right. Finally unbroke all that. Best Stephen King plot point is that a giant turtle god choked on a galaxy and died. Thank you for that that lore drop in Sim Cook. I like that. Whack geometry fixed pops up in Dark Souls font. So true. Delete that since it's already broken. We're almost there. Alright, now I'm gonna mirror this and be extra sure to check the tolerance. In fact, I'm gonna check this into source control first. Anybody that's doing game dev, I highly recommend getting the free version of Perforce set up. Or, you know, GitHub or whatever. But Perforce is my go-to. It's a lifesaver sometimes. It's like a giant undo button for your whole project. With Perforce, you can actually just be like, what did the game look like on, you know, this date 5 years ago? And you can find out. All right. Okay, you're a graphic designer, Bessie Lawrence. Cool, cool. Oh yeah, how did that stream go? I had to hop off, but I saw Harrison get started on making that terrarium area. How's it going? Is the idea they're like growing these things in there and experimenting on them or something? I'm actually going to restart Maya. Just real quick. Shouldn't take long. So they've been experimenting. Let's see. They're keeping them there to study and experiment, but it's gotten out of hand. It's a nice big area with elevation, and it'll be great to run around in. Just getting totally surrounded by these little monsters. Awesome. All right. Yeah, so ever since I restarted Maya, all of a sudden my multicut is working, so that is great. Don't ask me why restarting Maya fixes so many things, but it does. Alrighty. Alright, how many verts is this? Less than 5,000. Not too bad. And you know what? These look pretty close together. I can merge these. Something like that. Yeah, whatever. That's not too bad. I think I can probably bake that. Yeah, I've just gotta finish this. Oh, I get it. Huh. Oh, great. Gonna have to delete half of this thing again, aren't I? I had a script at one point to do that. Can't remember why I stopped using it. I think it sometimes kind of messed up and broke things. There, it's not too bad. Can't remember if I counted these edges or not, but maybe I did because they worked out to be the perfect number to make these little points even. So that's awesome. Right. Oh, I just noticed we got a little crack. Haha. Gotta watch that kind of stuff. It's sneaky. Whoa. Come on. Ah, okay. It goes down there too. Always remember that the computer is your enemy. If you're not paying attention, something will be broken. Alright, I think that's good. This arm could maybe use a little bit more verts, because see how it the normals kind of are flat. But I might also be able to get away with just doing it fully smoothed. That might work. Let's try it. Perfect. All right. I think before I move on to UVs, I'm gonna test reapplying the rig skeleton. It's like, why don't I see it? It's because I had this isolated. Alright, let's give this a quick test. I'm gonna check this into source control again too, because I'm starting to get nervous. Watching the skeleton rigging was super fun. Glad you enjoyed it. We will have ample opportunity to do plenty of that. And if any of my students from class are watching right now, then you'll be doing plenty of rigging. There we go. So that's the rig working without any skin weights. So now we get to skin it. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Let me delete history first. Because when you delete history, you'll lose your skin, and I don't want to have any of that history on this guy before we skin it. There. So now we have fresh skin with no history. There, the only input we have now is this skin cluster, which is exactly what we want. Alright, now we can try painting our influences again. So I want this spine joint to just kind of influence, you know, everything but the jaws. You know, eventually we'll have a whole skeleton, but right now we just have this. And oh yeah, let me change this. I don't like this multicolor visualizer. I like just current influence grayscale. Just hurts my brain less. And yeah, the thing that NG Skin Tools does that's so important is it automatically takes away influence from other bones when you add influence to another. Which the default Maya tools might kind of do, but they're just wonky. NG Skin Tools is so much better. Aha! Whoa. That's kind of like a different creature. What do y'all think? Design change? Should it have giant beaver teeth? Sand whale. I think this is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I would also be horrified to come face to face with this thing. Oh man, this is gonna be so cool once we get all the ZBrush details baked in. Yeah. Thanks, glad you like it. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out, actually. And so yeah, so see how I made sure to create like enough geometry on the inside of the mouth here that it kind of hints at that, like this little ridge surface change, right, which I artistically stole from this. Yeah, I think that'll work. Right, I am definitely checking this in. This is solid. Yeah, borrowed. We'll give the idea back. We are giving it back. We're giving it back and it'll be better than ever. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Now I'm gonna see about unwrapping it. Based on the overall shape of this thing, it shouldn't be too difficult. So I'm gonna use this. Call this, you know, I don't know, UV copy. And then this is the skinned. And again, this is still just a test skin. We're gonna have to redo all of that when we make a proper rig, but we didn't spend that long. I do want to preserve this though, so I can at least like see what the textures look like, open and closed. Do a side by side with the one with the mouth open, like this. Let me hide the rig. There we go. Yeah, and so I'm hoping to keep this functional while we texture, so we can just kind of like test, you know, on the texture sheet, seeing what it looks like with the mouth open and closed at the same time, because, you know, it'll be moving around a lot in game. All right. Time to start up UV layout. This is UV layout. It is a hilarious looking program that looks like it's 100 years old. And it's just the best thing that ever happened, to be honest. Look at those UVs. He's come so far. Yeah, he's been on a journey of self-improvement. Alright, so here is where all of our careful retopology and planning pays off. I hope some of my students are watching this. So here we go. Basically, we should be able to just select an edge loop. I actually want to do one layer in. So see, we can just select this whole loop. If I'd been even more careful with my topology, that would have been a one-click thing, but as it was only a few clicks. So split. Now I just gotta figure out why it's not coming apart. There's a face somewhere. There it is. Split. And now, nope, still missing one. Here it is. Third time's the charm. There we go. Separated the mouth from the body. Oh, yeah. Bro, yeah, so Sim Cook, I don't mean to be a sap, but super cool to be here to watch this dude come to life after all these years. I remember watching the old ones run around and loving their little flip animations. Yeah, so yeah, you've been with us since the beginning 10 years ago. And yeah, these guys have come a long way. Boom, that unwrapped easy. Yeah, well, kinda. We're always getting better. Looking back on those old builds, they had a lot of rough edges. Do I want to split him down the middle like this? Do I want to mirror? Do I want to mirror like this? There will be a giant seam. There's probably a better way to do it. Back together. That's weird. This looks like some kind of like visualizer. Okay, that was weird, but now we're back into one piece. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna cut off the arms so I don't have to worry about them. Just move these guys out of the way. And then the legs. Planned that from the minute I saw the sketch. I knew this would be a perfect place to hide a seam. So we're gonna do that. And now what I'm trying to think is how to maximize my texture space while minimizing seams. So the best way to maximize the space would be to mirror everything, but that would create a seam right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror the bottom and probably the legs, but I'm going to keep the top as one continuous segment. Separating the mouth from the body sounds like a biblical statement. Yes, it does. Yeah, he wasn't using those arms anyway. He didn't need them. Oh yeah, so I also probably don't want to cut through the gills here. I should have thought about this, and I should have modeled it so that the edge flow kind of like came through here. Well, let's see. We can go ahead and we can cut the bottom. Oh yeah, and then this tail, we'll probably just have to cut off this little tip. Let's just go ahead and try this, see what happens. Cool, so I might actually want to rework the topology to kind of make this a little more optimum, but this is the idea. I can ignore this and just map this just the way it is and this just the way it is, and then mirror this back over. So we will save all this space on our map, but we won't have to worry about having a big seam down the middle. Alright, Skunk Ape Interactive, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm still streaming. Harrison's just hopping off. I kind of want to get these UVs done. Good luck at the business factory, Harrison. We'll remember you. So here you can see what I'm talking about with that seam. It's going to be an ugly seam. Probably going to want to do something here too, because we're introducing a good deal of distortion. It's always this like trade-off. But this is a great place to hide a seam. No one's going to see that. Though it creates a weird, awkward shape, which I also don't like. Let's see what this looks like. So this is something else that I'm always trying to avoid, is these sort of like gaping holes in UV maps. Because, you know, they're wasted texture space. This is going to look so cool when this is all textured. Yeah, so that's something that I was already thinking about. I'm thinking I'm going to actually rework the topology to try to kind of work with the UVs a little better. This is just the way that the topology worked out. Yeah, and maybe even more like have it kind of come down here, then to that, then cut there. Then I can just have the legs, and then all this will be continuous. Yeah, almost like we should have thought about that at the, that was kind of the idea to begin with. Well, I mean, we have this like soft underbelly already, but yeah, there's nothing in the sketch that indicates like a serious texture difference on the top versus the bottom. But yeah, but if we did, that would make sense. Oh yeah, their backs are tougher because they do that somersault attack. Sure. That makes as much sense as anything. Armadillo edition, yes. Yeah, sometimes ideas come late in the game. Had an Easter egg where if you constantly roll around with it, it befriends you. I like that. Yeah, they roll, you roll. If you roll enough, it thinks that you're one of them. That's hilarious. I do kind of like the idea of being able to befriend these guys, or like one of them, like a special one. So it would be funny if you could cancel their rollout if you roll into them as they do theirs. Or, or time a punch just right so they go flying back. You could time it to hit another one in its path. So roll on roll would neutralize them, but a timed biff and they go flying. That's awesome. Like you can riposte them. Or parry them, yeah. Have you seen all these memes on Twitter where it's like people making like, you know, Souls-like games and they're like, what? Oh, I made it so you can riposte the train. It's like there's like a train that drives by and like if you parry at just the right time, you just like send the train flying. That's kind of like a game dev meme right now. Yeah, that'd be cool. One of the spaceship parts upgrades your roll so it adds knockback and you could break through heavy stuff. Yeah, I like that. That wouldn't be too hard to set up either. Yeah, you can roll through metal crates and make smaller enemies flinch. That's good. Consider it done. Sometimes UVs just don't look right. These guys are a mix of armadillo, lizard, and frog. So true. Yeah, you did a good job coming up with this guy. Very, very unique. Alright, got our UV shells. Let's find out what 10 texels looks like. Let's actually move everything to the middle first. All right. Yeah, this one has come together pretty quickly. Yeah, so yeah, Harrison's joking, if we're gonna crank them out this fast, we'll just come up with more. Well, yeah, why not? I think we do need a boss. We do need a boss fight for our vertical slice, right? We need a boss and we need a designed speeder bike. No more joke. No more joke speeder. We need the real deal. Yeah, for all the time we've saved on making the art, we're gonna lose it. We're gonna lose it rigging and animating. Unfortunate fact. I am checking one of my old characters to remind myself what texel density I need. Wow, that guy's got 8. That's very high. 10, wow, 10 on that one. We might not be able to hit that. 10. Since these guys are so continuous, we just might have to push our map sizes to 2K. It's unlikely we're going to be able to actually get 10 texels at 1024. Yeah, but at 2048 it looks not exactly possible either, actually. Definitely want to make sure we got plenty of resolution for the inside of the mouth. Yeah. Maybe. It's not going to be the most efficiently packed map we've ever made, but sometimes that happens. I think we can run with that. Yeah, that's right. We've barely even touched animation for the aliens. We've had the art for him done a pretty long time. He's pretty much just using retargeted human animations. Alright, let's okay, let's see here. How do I want to do this? So let's go ahead and export. Start a new bake folder. Alright, now we've got him mirrored. Oh, wait. This may or may not work. Let's give it a try. Darn. Yeah, sometimes I think I'm just gonna have to reskin him again. It didn't take that long, right? I get to see that sand whale again. Oh no! Oh! Okay. Yeah, rookie mistake. Hang on. I bound the skin to the skeleton at the open pose and not the closed pose. Yeah, don't do that. There, that's looking more like it. There we go. Weight painting is an art form of its own. All right. And again, there's no point in me going real crazy trying to get it all perfect because I've got to do it again later. This is just so I can visualize the outside and inside. All right, so now I want to do this. I want to duplicate that. And we're going to use this to bake the open mouth pose. So now we just need our high poly. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to bake this, and then I'm going to bake the open mouth separately. That being this right here. At least we don't have a lot of material IDs to worry about. So I just hand paint them all. Alright, everything seems to be working pretty well. Gonna check this in. And now for the fun part. Alright, so we've got our low poly mesh with only the parts that are actually visible. And we've got our high poly mesh. Chat's been pretty quiet. You guys still there? We're nearing the end of this, the modeling and baking portion for this guy. It's pretty sweet. I think we'll probably be able to finish it, barring any unforeseen difficulties. So yeah, let's go ahead and bake this. So let me just set a output. Let's see what we can get. Oh yeah, that probably glitched the stream out pretty good. Just, spiked all my CPU and GPU and everything. Alright, let's see what we got. So this is about what I would expect to see. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Obviously the inside of the mouth is all screwed up, but we're going to do that separately. So let's see what it looks like on the mesh. Yeah, that's fine. That's except for a little weird error here. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, you know what? Not quite sure what's the deal with that. But for now, let's go ahead and see about getting the mouth. So here's our low poly with the mouth open. And then my high poly mesh of the mouth open. Assign those to high and low. Alright, and here we go again. Get ready for the freeze. Alright, we're back. There we go. That looks about right. Let's preview it. Hahaha. I think that's about right. And of course it's all messed up here, but that's okay. We'll just put these together in Photoshop. Alright, here we are in Photoshop with both of our maps. Oh, you know what I should have done? Oh, let's just test it. So now I'm going to apply that baked texture. I'm going to see how it looks. Okay, so we've got issues. But that's pretty cool. Alright, so we just gotta figure out what's going on with these baking artifacts on the body and legs, but the mouth turned out perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and rebake this at full res. 48, well that's fine, but I don't want any padding. Alright, so hang in there, stream freeze. Go. Let's replace that. Oh, interesting. So the padding kind of masked some issues. Why is that? It's because the high poly and the low poly are pretty far away. Let's see, could be just because of the distance. Let's try that with smooth gauge. I'd like to just turn up the distance, but it looks like it doesn't let me do that. Because I want to capture those details. The easiest thing to do may be to just kind of modify this. Yeah, that's the problem. So here's what I'll do. I just split this. So I'm going to use this as my low poly just to capture the jaws. So I'm not actually modifying the game mesh or the rig or anything. But I can go ahead and just sort of push this around so that it's, you know, all in line. And yeah, it's problems in here too. That ought to help. So now I can export that. Overwrite my low, mouth open. And yeah, there we go. Low, high. Perfect. Try this again. Freeze. And we're back, and that looks much more right. Yeah, perfect. I can paint the rest of that out. Nice. Alright, there we go. So now we've got our proper AO map, and I'll just go a little extra mile and just paint that. It's fine. Perfect. And now when I go back to Maya, nice. All right. It looks like fossils. Yeah, it does. Well, that's good. It's a kind of primordial creature. Right, now... This is cool. I like being able to open and close the mouth. It's coming to life. All I gotta do now is fix this error with the other one. So let's see if we can figure that out. So for some reason, our low poly and high poly here are not quite matching up. We've got this kind of odd very odd little bake artifact there and there. I could probably paint those out too in Photoshop, but those are a little more major. So I'm a little confused as to what's going on there. It's odd. In the high poly, there's nothing like that in the high poly. We're so close, man. Here's an idea. In an effort to rule out what could be going on, I'm gonna just import this one little piece and try baking that. So it still does it. So it's probably a problem with the high poly then. Seems fine though. I was expecting maybe some kind of like crazy doubled up faces in here, but nothing like that. Well, I'm a little stumped, to be honest. Let's just see. First of all, let's get a full res bake. Oh, might help if I actually update the settings. No padding, 2048 is good. Very interesting. Thanks, glad you like it. It's weird, it's like there's this... It's like all over. What the heck? Yeah, this is a weird one. I mean, honestly, I could just paint it all, you know? Like, this is a pretty simple mesh, so it wouldn't be that bad, but it's gonna bug me a little bit. Let's just see how bad it is painting it, how bad it looks. Try. I mean, it's all gonna be hand painted in the end anyway, right? So it is like something just kind of cutting across the UVs. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. We're close though. We're almost there. It's 3:15. I gotta be moving on to some other stuff. Overall, I'm at least happy about the mouth. I think that turned out pretty good. This is gonna be key for really making the gameplay work, so glad that worked out. Probably, you know, one more stream, we can figure out what's up with these bakes, fix them up, and then do our little first pass on our texture, and then we can work on actually rigging the whole thing. And maybe then hand it off to Harrison for some animating. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, well, sorry for less than usual talkative stream. That was pretty confusing. Sometimes it goes that way. Well, thanks. Glad you're enjoying it. I'm having fun. I'm having fun doing it. Any questions or remarks before I sign off? So heck yeah. Glad to have you aboard. Crunchy. Nom nom nom. Oh, well, thanks. Oh, hello, Kimmy Head. Nice to have you here. I don't know how long, if you just joined or not, but we're just wrapping up. We just did about 3 hours of work on this guy. It's a little creature for our game, based on this sketch. Kind of from inspiration from Dune and Borderlands. But yeah, we've been doing high poly modeling and now just wrapped up our low poly modeling, and we're getting a first pass on our texture baking. And yeah, it's been fun. I'm really perplexed as to what's going on with some of these bake artifacts that I have. Let's see. Oh, you know what I'll do? Before I sign off, I'll combine the normal maps, so I don't have to do it later. So sometimes it's just easier to bake things in 2 passes, so like I did the mouth separate. So I'm just gonna paste that in there. And then all I have to do is just... Oh! Guys, I think I figured out what I did wrong. It's okay, I'm just dumb. Check this out. I can't believe I didn't think of this. It's not an issue with the bake. It's an issue with my mask, with this sloppy little mask lasso that I did. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Wow. Wow, thanks. So yeah, if I just wasn't lazy and I did this lasso properly. Oh my gosh. This might be a record for like something. Aha! There we go. Last minute save. You are so right. Reload. Hey! Okay, so we do still have this problem though. So there's something up here. Okay, so it's two issues, right? That's issue number one, that's fixed. This is still odd, but that was also kind of easy to paint out, so yeah. Here's what we'll do for now. We'll just keep that little paint out that we did. Boom. Yeah, that'll work. I can live with that, to be honest. If I can't figure out what was up with that bake, that's no big deal. But that was the main thing that was bugging me, and now I know what it was. So thanks, guys. Talking through that helped me figure it out. Yeah, so let me fix this now. Boy, sometimes it's just the most obvious thing. Ah, so much happier now. All right. Already exists. Yeah. There we go. Now we've got proper normal and AO maps. All right, let's just set them up in Marmoset just for fun. Got a fresh scene in Marmoset. Export that guy. I also want one. The mouth closed. Okay, hang on, I gotta make these FBXs. Alright, that's pose closed. That's pose open. Alright. Now we'll give this our new texture, and let's give this our normal map. Whoa, that's looking gnarly. Oh, the normal map has the same issue. Yeah. Alright, quick and dirty fix. Let's see if this works. Yeah, whatever. Good enough for government work, right? Alright, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I think that's probably as good a place as any to call it quits. And next time, we can get into texturing. Cool. Alright. For real. Now, any last minute thoughts or comments or requests before I sign off? All right, man. Yeah, for sure. Me too. And yeah, text your time. All right. Yeah, and then if anybody's in the chat and they want to get in touch, just join our Discord. We got the link on our YouTube channel or on Twitch, wherever you're watching from. We love having people come hang out, and yeah, sweet. All right, I'll see you guys next time.